YouTube and Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah.
And what's the reason behind it?
So I kind of like lost my touch in my off-spin bowling. I was taking a lot of wickets. I don't know what happened. My bowling action, my body balance, and everything just went away. So this season came where I couldn't even pitch on the strip. I was pitching there, everywhere. So yeah, then I saw a couple of your coaching videos on YouTube. That's when I contacted you because I needed a coach who actually knows off-spin rather than just a general cricket coach.
Yeah. How long have you been bowling for before that?
I bowled for about 4 seasons. I used to take a lot of wickets. At times I was highest wicket taker for my club. Played regularly, was important player. And what happened after that was I could barely make it to playing 11. I barely practiced during the winter season. And then I was playing some indoor cricket. And when I went to indoor cricket, winter time, I was okay-ish.
What were you bowling with in indoor?
It was this yellow, softer ball than the actual cricket ball, but harder than the actual wind ball.
So that actually makes a difference because I know when you're practicing with a ball which is not a regular ball, so off season, you get used to a specific loop and how you release a ball because it's lighter. And that might stick in your brain. And when it goes to the season, if you're not practicing, like for example, you got a match on Saturday, you practice on Thursday, if you're not practicing in midweek, what are you practicing midweek?
I wasn't.
And that's what kind of affects you as well. I would try and get 1 day's training in the week, just so you don't go into the match and do your practice.
Okay.
Now, I've had this problem before as well, where all my life I've been practicing, 2-3 days a week. And then after, when you don't want to become a professional, you're just playing club cricket, you still practice.
Yeah.
You go for training. And then all of a sudden you get a family. And now things start changing. You can't commit to your Thursday training.
Exactly.
Well, now my training is actually in the match. So you either go to a match.
Yeah.
It's a good club. You practice before the match. So
start,
you start, you do your warm up, brilliant, you have a good time. That's enough for me. As long as I get 20 minutes of bowling, I've done my job. I know I can go into the match and perform. Unfortunately, I went to a league where I was coaching. They wanted me to play. I said, okay, I'll play for you lot. They did not practice. There was no warm up. There was nothing. My warm up was my first delivery in a match because no one was willing to go out there and actually do anything for me. It affected me because I was first of all rusty, stiffness. I couldn't even push the ball halfway down the pitch. As soon as you get the first part wrong, pressure's on you because they're expecting you to take all the wickets. I'm thinking, wait a minute, I haven't done anything. This is not, I've warmed up, so too far for me to travel. Were you in the same situation?
I am. So so my club is about 45-minute, an hour drive away from where I live. My actual club, they don't have nets. So as you said, my first delivery would be my warm-up. I'll tell you what, last year what happened was, I was given this 1 over. My captain was like, okay, fine, you know what? We don't have enough bowlers. Go, give me an over. But just pitch on the strip. I go, okay. Now, that was so embarrassing. My legs started shaking. So I was standing on my run-up, 5 steps. I thought it's like 5 miles, me walking in. So, just one of those things. I don't know what that is. I was so nervous. My palms were sweaty. And mind you, it's a low-level cricket.
It's low-level cricket, but for you, it was high pressure.
It was very high pressure.
This is something which in cricket is called the YIPS. Now the YIPS is something where you could have a flawed action and it won't show up in your bowling. You could go out and bowl five wickets in a match and everyone thinks you're great. All of a sudden you get a good batsman in front of you. Or you go to a high level. For example, there was this England Test cricketer and he went into the Ashes, massive pressure, just playing in the Ashes. He did really well playing for England Lions. Starts bowling long hops, flawed action, and I was watching it and I was telling my brother on WhatsApp, have you seen his action? He's not using his arm. Basically his flawed action came back to haunt him. When you get under pressure, you come to bowl, all of a sudden pressure gets to you, muscles stiffen up, as you say, sweaty palms, all that goes through your mind, and you get the first one wrong. You've got a big crowd around you, and you haven't got a perfect action. Your action's flawed. If you've got a flawed action where you're not actually rotating all the way through, finishing off, now the flaws come back to haunt you. I'm going to give you one example other than that one. Syed Ajmal, all his life, never made a mistake with bowling. He made one mistake, and I'm going to mention this one mistake. Syed Ajmal's got a flawed action where he leans backwards and bowls off spin. And in my previous videos, I talked about when he bowls, he leans backwards, then he does this whip motion. This whip motion lets him create extra pace. It's very unique. It's never been done in cricket. In fact, he probably is the only one who does this bow action. I also somewhat copy that as well, because like him and me, because we turn our wrist round and we try and bowl the ball, we lose a bit of pace by turning our wrist round. So we have to compensate. To compensate, we lean back and forward. Very unique. Not many people do it. People usually stand like this and bowl forward. He leans back and leans forward. Now here's a mistake. It's never affected him until he got to the semi-final in the 2020 against Australia.
Oh, where Mike Hussey batted him, he did,
And then he says after the match, the wind was, affected me. Okay, fair enough, the wind affected you. The wind affected you because you were leaning backwards. Now, when the wind affects you, you can't lean forward perfectly. All of a sudden, his forward action has come to haunt him in the semi-final, basically cost us the World Cup.
Exactly.
So this is an example of a forward action coming back to haunt you. Now, luckily, he was good enough throughout his life not to do that. So we're going to do this. I haven't seen you bowl. I've seen your past videos, but that's quite a while ago now. My idea was to come to see you bowl the nets. Absolutely no expectations. And then we'll take it from there. We've got an hour here, and let me see what I can do with your bowling action. Yeah? Cool. All right. So just looking at your general bowling action, it's very low level cricket. You haven't bowled for a long time. I highly doubt this is what your bowling action was. So now you don't even know what you're bowling. I think this is like a made up action, because you haven't bowled for how many years now?
About 5 years.
5 years. So it's literally like you're bowling fresh. It's like a colt coming in at 12 years old, showing me his off-spin action, and that's literally what it looks like. Good thing is we can definitely improve this, because there's a lot wrong here. So yeah, let's just go back and do this. And what we're doing is, to start off with, is from one step bowl. I'm just going to show you a quick example. We're going to go side on. This is the position. It won't be like this. We're going to side on. This is going to be pointing towards the target. This will be side on, the back foot. Arm up, looking over your shoulder. Now you see my chest is facing this direction. But while it's not facing here and I'm looking like this, I'm looking over my shoulder, and this is a perfect bowling action for seam and for spin. For anything, you should be looking over your shoulder. Unless you've got an open chested action, we're not practicing anything different here today. We're going to go for the coaching manual here. This is the action you want to be in, where your shoulders are looking around, but chest is pointing more towards square leg.
I get it.
So you're in this position, and from here, you're basically just going to go over yourself and bowl. Now, the biggest flaw in your bowling action was the idea of your back leg not going over. It literally just went around and kind of finished here. So it was just going around, and this is not how we walk, and this is not how we walk. We walk in straight lines, and this is how we bowl, in straight lines. So when they talk about hips going over, the hips don't go around. The shortest way for your hips to go over is just straight over, like this. This is it. And when we bowl and jump and bowl, it's like doing a march. We go over like we're marching. This is the march. You know how we march? This is it. So when you're coming in and bowl, you're just going to go and you're just going to march over. And that's it. Yeah? That's basically it. If you do that right, where you're marching straight, going towards the target, and your hips now rotating towards the target, and your foot's going towards the target, everything's in a straight line, that ball shouldn't be going off target. That's all it is.
So my foot.
Yep, that's fine.
That's my position.
Yeah. Looking over. Yeah. The grips are fine. The grip's not an issue here. You can do whatever grip you want. The main thing is how you finish off.
And
start off. I'm not worried about the stride right now. The most important part is just making sure you just go straight over in a straight line.
Go try?
Yeah, go for it. So first of all, stand here. You're getting too close. You can do it close. Just get a nice shoulder width apart. Let's just start there and just go over yourself, and that's it. So your leg goes round, and it didn't even land. It actually did this. Your leg went like this, and didn't even land. You just did this for some reason. So just concentrate on your back leg straight over, and you're bowling it. That's it. So we're literally walking in straight line. Leg goes over in a straight line. That's all we're practicing. And this is something you can practice while walking back right now. I'm gonna walk back and just go over myself. That's it. Everything's in a straight line. I'm not going to go off my target. Everything's in a straight line.
Is it better?
Yeah, I'm not going too much over like this and pointing in that direction because now I've stopped. Yeah. I'm just going to go over myself and continue walking because you're going to make sure your front foot is pointing towards your target. Same principles apply for fast bowling. Leg spin is slightly different. Leg spin is because you're coming round, you can afford to get your legs round, coming round, pointing in this direction. Yeah. Leg spin is different. Yeah. Off spin and seam bowling, very similar. It's all the same principles, looking over your shoulder, going over yourself, and finishing off in this direction. You can have it pointing towards gully, but nothing more than that. You don't want to finish in that position because now you're over pivoting. We're trying to make it simple for you. Looking over yourself, going over. This is quite important, getting this high. If you get your knee high, it's like you're marching. You're just going to go in straight lines. So let's practice that. You're going to stand on the crease, not too far from the crease. Let's stand on the crease. Yeah. Get ready, and just go straight over. One more time, without releasing it. That was better. Yeah, because you had a higher right knee there. So the higher the right knee, the more straighter your leg goes. That's better. Just make sure you don't pivot over too much because you're going over and you're pivoting too much. Yeah, you just want to make it more natural. Go over the top and land here somewhere, 45 degrees. That's what you're going to do. So when you stand in one position, let's actually stand in the position. You kind of stand here, move your leg around, then you go for it. Let's just stand in one position. Yeah. Stand here and just bowl from this position. You want to have this stable, both not moving. And now let's work on going over the top. Yeah, without moving your front foot. Make sure both are planted, then you bowl. So you want to be somewhat in this position. So your front foot is more in line with your back foot, okay, and not opened up too much. Okay. Because open action is actually quite hard to bowl off spin. Okay. You end up trying to bowl off spin, your arm can't come here, it ends up coming a bit round, and then that ball now in that direction will go down leg side because you're a bit open up too much. You want to be in a nice side on position, and from here, when your arm comes over with your hips, all of a sudden your hand is straight. It's more closer to your ear because you've got side on action, you're coming around more in this direction. So as a result, your arm is more straighter. It's natural. If you want to come in and bowl like this, look over your shoulder in any way or open chested, and you want to get your hand, it's very hard to get this close. I get it. Because all of a sudden you're too open up, your shoulders are open up. You want them square on, and you want this motion where your shoulders come round. Make sense? Yeah, I get it. Bit more straighter. Front, bit more. There you go. Yeah. Because what we're trying to do here is get a high right knee and comes down. Okay. The higher this right knee comes up, can you see this? I'm already on my tiptoes. That's what you want to be. You want to be as high as possible. You can't achieve that if you've got a round leg or your legs doing nothing. Once you get this high knee up, I haven't even talked about your left arm yet. Once you get the high knee up and go over, your left arm will be perfect already. Okay. So that's why when I'm talking about your left arm here, I just want to make sure your right leg goes over. Alright, good. We're going to do the same standing position. Yeah. And while we're doing our leg, we're going to make sure your back arm goes towards the sight screen behind you. Okay. Yeah. So those two were really good, because in cricket, if somebody says let's work on your left arm coming backwards, that's all good. It all comes down to the feet first. If you haven't got your feet right, everything else will go wrong. Yeah. And if you're over pivoting too much, I can't tell you to put your arm backwards. I can't say, can you please get your arm going backwards when you're over pivoting too much. Until you get this right, we can't get to the next stage, which is your hips. Yeah. Yeah. So you want to make sure you walk in straight lines, come over. Once you do this, your back foot will be on your tiptoes. That'd be perfect. Once you're on your tiptoes, that means you're actually getting a high arm action. If you're in high arm action, naturally your back arm will be going behind yourself, your left arm.
That was the perfect ball.
If you haven't seen my previous videos, go and check out my channel. There's lots of tutorials on cricket. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, let me know what you think, leave your comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.
Yorker is hit into the gap, and that's 50. Incredible stuff, really is one hell of a batting effort from him. He loves it, the fans are loving it, the dugout is incredibly happy because they're seeing a sensational 50 here.